Good morning, all of you. Last lecture we have studied about a first law of a probability, that is additive law of a probability. We have to consider that is P is equals to P1 plus P2 plus P3 dot 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 Pn, and finally we have to write that P is equals to summation of Pi, and from the on that we have to discuss the one problem for king and queen. After that we are going to discuss the second law, that is called as multiplication rule of the probability. Now how the probability can be added, we have to study in the last lecture. Now in the today's lecture we are going to discuss how the probability can be multiplied, that is probability of a joint occurrence of a two independent event. Joint occurrence of two independent event. For example, we have to consider for the joint occurrence of two events. Let us consider we have a number of white balls and black balls. We have to simultaneously drawn one of the what is the probability of a black ball, or what is the probability of a white ball. That is we are discussing on the problem. But here the probability of joint occurrence of a two independent event. Independently we have to take the white ball. Independently we have to take the black ball. That is independent event is equal to the product of probability. This is what a probability of each event of these independent event. This is the considered as a multiplicative law of a probability, and from that we have to say that P is equals to what? That is P is equals to, we have to consider P1 into P2. Simple. Addition and multiplication are very simple. That is P is equals to P1 plus P2. Here what? P1 into P2. We have to consider their number of events. Here we have to consider the two events. First one is considered as say P1 and another is called as what? P2. And this is what we have to say that P is equals to P1 plus P2. Example based on the multiplication we have to consider here. One more example that is very important law, that is P is equals to P1 into P2. Example based on the multiplication of P1 and P2. First of all, we have to write the example here. That is, a bag contain 8 white and 6. A bag contain 8 white and 6 black balls. 6 white and 8 white and 6 black balls. Two balls are drawn at random. Two balls are drawn at random, one after the other. One after the other. What is the probability that both balls are black? Black. Now see the problem first of all here. That is a bag contains 8 white balls and 6 black balls. One bag is there, and in that bag what we have to say that white balls, 8 number of white balls and 6 number of black balls. Drawn at random. Randomly we have to take the hands in the bag and taken out. Random one after the other. What is the probability? That is both balls are black. First time you have to take the ball from the, like that we have to say that this is the bag, and that bag consists of 8 number of white balls, and what we have to consider that a 6 number of black balls. We have to drawing what we have to say that white or black, what we say here, black ball. Just we have to consider a ball, and this is what we have to say, consider a black ball. Now black balls are, what are the number of black balls? Number of black balls are 6, and number of black balls are, here we have to consider 6 black balls, and number of white balls are what we have, 8 white balls. Total number of balls contained in the bag, 8 plus 6, that is 14. First of all, we have to consider probability of drawing a black ball. P1 is the probability what we have to consider here. That is, P1 is equals to probability of drawing a black ball. P1 is equals to probability of drawing a black ball is equals to, how many black balls are here? 6 number of black balls. So M is considered as what we have, 6. And what is the total number of balls? That is 8 plus 6, that is what? 14. And the probability P1 is equals to what we have to say, that 6 upon 14. This is the probability for drawing first of all black balls. After that, P2 is equals to probability of drawing second black ball. Here first, second black ball. Again we have to consider how many number of black balls are there. Total black balls what we have to consider, 6. But here we have to consider a bag consists of 6 black balls and 8 white balls. Out of that we have to take one ball, and that is a black. Now how many balls are remain there? 14 minus 1, 13. 14 minus 1, 13. And one black ball already drawn. That is, number of black balls are 6. Out of that, how many remains are there now? 5. So P2 is equals to, we have to consider, say, 5 upon 13. And what is the formula? Therefore, P is equals to P1 into P2, and it gives that 6 upon 14 multiplied by 5 upon 13, and it gets that finally we have to consider here, that is 6 5 are 30, 13 4 are 52, 13 1 are 13, and 13 plus 5, 18. And the answer is what we have to say, that P is equals to 13 upon 182. This can be also, we have to simplify, not there, what you have to consider in answer, that is 30 upon 182. This is the answer. This is the very important problem on the, we have to consider, say, multiplication of probability. Now again we have to discuss one more problem for the probability, problem based on the probability. I think we have to understand probability of joint occurrence. Joint occurrence means we have to say that one occurrence what we have to consider, that is say P1, and another is what we have to PT. Joint occurrence of two independent events. Independent means ekanantar ek. First we have to draw the black ball, that is P1. Another black ball is P2, and is equal to, that is independent event is equals to what? Product of probability. And this is what we have to say, that product of probability, that is P1 into P2. First independent event is P1, second independent event is P2. So the multiplication rule is P is equals to P1 P2, and on that base we have to consider a bag consists of 8 white balls and 6 black balls. Out of that, first of all we have to draw the first black ball, from the bag, what is the probability? We have to consider the 6 black balls and total number of balls are 14. So the 6 upon 14 is the first probability. And secondly, we have to draw again black ball. Remaining black balls are now 6 minus 1, that is say 5. And total number of balls are 14 minus 1, that is 13. So 5 by 13. And we get the formula is what? P is equals to P1, P2. Finally, 6 upon 14 into 5 upon 13. It gets that 6 5 is 13 and 14 into 30 multiplication, it gets 182, and final answer is 30 divided by 182. This is the we have to consider say probability for that event. And one more problem we are going to discuss again here, probability based problem based on probability. Write down this. Second problem we have. Example 2. Problem based on probability. See here, if a pair of 6 faced die six-faced dice, D-I-C. A pair of 6 faced dice marked 1 to 6 is thrown What is the probability that sum of what is the probability that sum of the number which is thrown up is 8? That is, sum of the number thrown up is 8. Now we have a 2 number of dice having marking 1 to 6, and out of that we have to consider here last lecture we have to show the one more die for that. That is, this is a room consists of how many faces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is a dice, and dice we have to consider 6 faces, 1 to mark the 1 to 6. We have a 2 dice and we are going to thrown 2 dice what we have to say that simultaneously. And what is the probability that sum of 2 numbers, we have to consider say first die is thrown up, the number is say 2. Now second die is throwing up at the time, what we have to get that is say 4. What is the summation? 2 and 4. It is not possible the event, and event can be possible only when that is what? That is number is 6. The first one is say 2 and second one is what we have to say that 6. Then sum of the number is considered as what? 8. Now we have to solve this, the total number of different ways which dice can fall, that is, first of all, write solution. Total number of weights. Total number of weights in which the dice can fall will be six into 6, that is equals to 36. How it is? First die we have to thrown, and second die is also we have to thrown. That is multiplication probability. What we have to say, that 6 into 6 we have to get that, say, 36, and we have to write that is n is equals to what? 36. N is equals to 36. That is total number of weights in which dice can be fall will be n is equals to 6 into 6. Dice having 6 number of faces, and we have two dice are simultaneously what we have to consider here drawing. And now for the event, sum of the number which throws up is 8, and the possible ways are, now sum of number of event is 8. Therefore, possible ways are, how many possible ways? First one is 2, 6. Secondly, we have 2 की जगह क्या आएगा 3, और यहाँ पे क्या बनेगा 5, that is 3 plus 5 8. Next one is 4, 4 plus 4 8. Next one is, first one get 5 and second one get 3. 5 plus 3, that is what we have 8. And next one is again what you have to consider, this one is get 6, and the next one is get what 2, and this is the number of ways are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Number of ways are considered here 5. Sum of the number, two independent, what we have to consider, maybe problem may be asked on that what? If the pair of 6 faces of dice marked 1 to 6 is thrown, what is the probability? That is the sum of the number thrown up is 8. Sometimes 6, sometimes 4, sometimes 3. Whatever may be asked on that, we have to first of all, total number of ways in which dice can be fall, that is n is equals to 6 into 6, that is equals to 36. And the sum of the number, what is the possibility of the number it can be taken up, that is 8. That is, this is the number of ways of the possibilities we have to consider, that is 5. And after that, we have to obtain the probability for that event is, we have to consider the formula for probability is what? P is equals to probability P is equals to m upon n. Now what is the m here? How many ways? That is 5 ways. And number of what you have said, number of ways, that is 36. And answer is what? 5 upon 36. Sometimes we have, say, we have to, another example may be asked like that for homework. We have to consider the sum of the weights. Let us consider, say, 8 के जगह क्या आएगा 7. जब 7 आएगा, तो what is the probability of occurring the 7? First of all, we have to consider, say, 1, 6. Addition is 7. Second one is 2, 5. Third one is 3, 4. 3 plus 4, 7. Next one is we have to consider 2 and 5. This is 7. Again, another event 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4, then 2 and 5. Also, one way is what we have to consider, that is 6, 1 and this is what we have to say, that 1, 2, 3. Here we have to write 4, and here we have to write that 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 5, 4, 3. Here addition is 7. Here 5, 2. Addition is 7. And the last one is what? That is 5 ke jagah kya aayega? 6, 1. How many ways? That is m is equals to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it can consider as 6 upon 36. This is the way in which we have to find the probability of sum of the two numbers. That is, we have to find it like that. Number of ups is say 5, it may be 8, it may be 3. Any ways we have to consider, and these are the events. And number of ways is what? Number of ways is 36. So P is equals to what? M by N. And so the probability is 6 by 36. This is the answer here. 1 by 6 also we have to consider. Thank you. Write down all the things.